Hello friends, before to understand the process of how can we input the values to 2D array and print them back onto the screen, let's first understand how can we write the matrix in mathematics and how can we write the matrix in C language. One thing you should note here is that 2D array is also termed as matrix in C language, and this is how we used to write the matrix in mathematics. In the similar way, we can write the matrix in C language as well. Now I am going to describe the basic difference between the mathematics matrix and C language matrix. That is, in the mathematics, row index and column index always starts from 1. So, the row index is 1 here. Row index is 1 here, and it increases by 1 for each of the successive row in sequence. So what would be the row index here? That is 2. That is 2. This is the row indexes, and column index also starts from 1 here, and it increases by 1 for each of the successive column in sequence. So what will be the next row index? That is 2 here. What will be the next row index? That is 3. What will be the next row index? That is 4 here. But in C language, index always starts from 0. So what will be the first row index? That is 0. What will be the first column index? That is 0. This is column index and this is row index. Rest of the process will remain same as we learn in the mathematics matrix. That is the first row index is 0 and it increases by 1 for each of the successive rows in sequence. That is, what will be the next row index? 1 here. And first column index is 0 and it increases by 1 for each of the successive column in the sequence. What will be the next column index? That is 1. What will be the next column index? That is 2. And what will be the next column index? That is 3. What is the order of the matrix here? That is 2 cross 4. It means to say there are 2 rows and 4 columns in this matrix. So, how many elements there would be in the matrix? There would be 8 elements in the matrix. And if I talk about, if I say that this is m variable and this is n variable, and if I talk about the minimum row index value and maximum row index value, minimum column index value and maximum column index value, then what would be these values here? Let's understand here. Row index. Row index, what is the minimum row index value here? Is 0. And what would be the maximum row index value here? That is m minus 1. That is m minus 1, because the index is started with 0. So what would be the maximum row index value here in this example is m minus 1. What is m here? 2. And 2 minus 1, we will get 1 here. And in the similar way, what would be the minimum column index value? That is 0. That is 0. And what will be the maximum column index value? That is n minus 1. N minus 1. N minus 1. What is n here? 4. 4 minus 1, 3. We will get 3 here. So, these are the row indexes and these are the column indexes in this example here. Now, let's understand what would be the identifier name to access matrix elements here, since A is a 2D array. A is a 2D array. So, identifier name A will be followed by 2 subscripts here, such as. So, one can access any particular element of this 2D array by specifying name of the matrix followed by 2 subscripts, and here the first subscript refers to the row index and the second subscript refers to the column index of that particular element in the matrix here. Now let's understand how can we write each of the position in 2D array here, and we already know that the index of this particular row is 0, the index of this particular particular row is 1 and the index of this column is 0, the index of this column is 1, the index of this column is 2, index of this column is 3. These are the row indexes and these are the column indexes. So, how can we write the position of this element? We already know that the first subscript points to the row index and the second subscript points to the column index. So, what will be the position of this element here? That is row index 0 and column index 0. And again, in the similar way, what will be the positions of this element here? First subscript points to the row index, that is 0, and second subscript points to the column index, that is 1. And what will be the positions of this element here? That is 0 and 2. In the same way, what will be the positions here? 0 and 3. And now it's the turn of row number 1. And what will be the positions here? First subscript points to the row index, that is 1. And second subscript points to the column index, that is 0. And in the same way, I am going to write the positions of the successive elements in the matrix. That is 1 and 1. 1 and 2. 1 and 3. So, it means to say that if you want to access this element, you have to write A of 0, 0 in the code. If you want to access this element, then you have to write A of 0, 2 in the code. If you want to access this element, then you have to write A of 1, 1 in the code. Now, I am going to describe the code to input values to 2D array and print the 2D array on the screen as well. In this declaration statement, I have declared some variables here, and A is a 2D array here. Why it's a 2D array here? Because here A is followed by the two subscripts here, one for the row limit and other for the column limit. It means that you can take maximum 30 rows in the A matrix and maximum number of 30 columns in the A matrix. You can change the dimensions here as per your need in the program code. And what is M and N here? I have used M and N here to control the row limit and column limit at the runtime. And what are this I and J variable? I and J variable, I am going to use them as control variables in the loop. What does this clear screen function do here? It just cleans the output screen. Now I am going to write the code here. I am writing a printf statement here to print this message. Enter row limit and column limit, followed by a scanf statement. %n, then again a printf statement, now let's see the output of these three statements on the output screen. What does this printf function will do here? The task of printf function is to print the string enclosed in the double quotation onto the screen. So, what will you get on the output screen is enter row and column limit. Now, user has to write two values here and I am going to write here 2 and 4. now the control moves to this scanf function. Now let's see what does this scanf function will do here. Actually, scanf function is an input function, and input function always waits for the user to enter value from the keyboard. And now here scanf function here is waiting for the user to enter an integer number. Why an integer number? Because I have specified here %d format string. So the control is waiting for the user to enter an integer number. So scanf function here reads this 2 from the screen and assigns it to m variable. It means to say 2 will be assigned to m variable. And again, scanf function reads the next integer value from the screen and assigns it to the n variable. It means to say this 4 will be assigned to variable n. It means to say m has value 2 and n has value 4 here. And what does this printf function will do on the output screen? It prints enter, then an integer number. What is the value of that integer number? That is m cross n. And what is m cross n here? M cross n, what is the value of m here is 2, and what is the value of n here is 4, and its value would be 8. So it will print enter 8 elements, and then cursor will be moved to the beginning of the next line because of this slash and escape sequence. So from here cursor will be moved to the beginning of the next line. Now I am going to write the code to input values to matrix. So I am going to write here a for loop. Make you habitual to write the code by using tabs. Now let's understand how this input code will be executed. And I have used a for loop here, and we all know that for loop contains 3 partitions, that is initialization part, and then condition part, and then the jump part. And for loop always starts its execution from the initialization part and moves from left to right direction until it encounters the conditional part. It means to say कि for loop always initialization part से start करता है और इस direction में move करता हुआ कहाँ तक stop करता है? Conditional part तक stop करता है. What is the value of I here is 0. I value is 0, and I am going to write here the dry run iterations. I value is 0 here. Now check this condition. Is this condition true? I is less than m. What is the value of m here? Is 2. So what is the condition here? Is 0 less than 2? 0 less than 2? Yes, true. This condition is true. And we all know that whenever the loop condition becomes true, then the control executes the loop body. And in this case, the control enters into this loop body. And what is the next statement here? Next statement is again a for loop, and the procedure will remain same here, is that this for loop starts its execution from its initialization part and moves forward in left to right direction until it encounters its conditional part. So what is the value of j here is 0. What is the value of j here is 0. And now check the condition. Is j less than n? What is the value of n here is 4. What is the value of n here is 4. Check the condition. Is 0 less than 4? Again the condition is true. Condition is true. So the control enters into this loop body. And what is the next statement here in the loop body? That is a scanf function, an input function. And what is the function of this scanf function? This scanf function just wait for the user to enter a value from the keyboard. In this case, scanf function is waiting for the user to enter an integer number on the screen. And what is the number on the screen? I'm going to write here 8 numbers, that is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. So it will read an integer number from the screen and assigns it to the variable a of ij. And what is the value of I and j here? I value is 0 and j value is 0. It means to say it will assign 12 to a of 0 0. A of 0 0. And what is the next statement here? Is the ending of this for loop, and from this point control always moves to the jump section of the for loop. And what is the jump statement here? Is j plus plus. J plus plus is a standalone expression, which means j is equals to j plus 1. It means to say j value will be incremented by 1 here. And what is the next value of j here? Is j current value is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1 and 1 will be stored to j. So new value of the j is 1. And now from this point the for loop starts its execution in the right to left direction until it encounters the condition part. इसका मतलब है the very first time तो ये यहाँ से start करता है और ये फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन में मूव करता है. जब भी ये जंप पार्ट पर कंट्रोल आता है तो उसके बाद एवरी टाइम ये बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन में मूव करेगा और कहां तक स्टॉप करेगा? कंडीशनल पार्ट तक, जस्ट कंडीशनल पार्ट तक. ये जो इनिशियलाइजेशन पार्ट है ये ऑलवेज वंस ही एग्जीक्यूटेड होता है कोड में. ठीक है. अब now check the condition again. What is the value of j here? 1. What is the value of n? Is 4. Is the condition true? Yes, it's true. Now the control again enters into this for loop body. Again this scanf function reads the next integer value from the screen and stores this value into variable aij. And now what is the variable here? Is a of I. What is the value of I here? Is 0. What is the value of j here? Is 1. And 13 will be stored to a of 0 1. And again from here the control moves to this jump part and the j value will be incremented by 1 again. That is we get 2 here. And the condition is checked again here. Check the condition. Is 2 less than 4? Yes, 2 is less than 4. So the control will again move to this loop body, and again this scanf function reads the next integer variable from the screen and assigns it to the variable a of ij. That is a of ij. What is the value of I here? Is 0. And what is the value of j here? Is 2. This 14 will be assigned to a of 0 2 variable. And again control moves to this jump part again. J value is going to be incremented again, and what is the j value now is 3, and again check the condition. Is 3 less than 4? Yes, x less than 4 true. Now again the control executes this loop body. Again the scanf function reads the next integer value from the screen and assigns it to the variable a of ij, that is a of ij. What is the value of I here is 0. What is the value of j here is 3, and 15 will be assigned to this a of 0, 3 here. And again the control moves to this jump part. Now what will be the j value now? What was the last value of j is 3. When 1 is incremented to this 3, then the j value will be 4 now. You will get 4 here, and now again check the condition, that is 4 less than 4? 4 less than 4. Now the condition is false here. Now the condition is false here, and we know that whenever the loop condition becomes false, the control comes out of this for loop. It means to say now this for loop, j for loop body will not be executed, and the control comes out of this for loop and starts executing the next instruction in sequence here. And what is the next instruction here? The next instruction is this closing brace of this for loop. And again the rule remains same here. From this point the control jumps to the jump part of the loop itself. It means to say the control now executes this jump part statement. And what is this jump part statement? Is I plus plus. Again this I plus plus is an increment statement, and it's a standalone expression that is equivalent to I is equals to I plus 1, and now I value will be incremented by 1. What was the previous I value? That is 0, and now the new I value will be 1. And now dry run of second iteration. It's the dry run of second iteration. This is our first iteration, and this will be our second iteration. And from here the condition will be checked again. That is I less than m? What is the new value of I here? Is 1. What is the value of m here? Is 2. M here is 2. Is 1 less than 2? Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. Condition is true. So now the control moves to this loop body and starts executing the loop body of this for loop I. And again the next statement is a for loop, and this loop starts executing from this statement and moves forward in left to right direction until it encounters its conditional part, that is this part. So again the j value is 0 now, and now again check the condition, that is 0 is 0 less than n. Less than n means what is the value of n here? Is 4. Is 0 less than 4? Yes, true. 0 is less than 4 here. So condition is true here. Again, whenever the condition becomes true, the control enters into the loop body and starts executing the statements in the loop body. And what is the next statement here? Is the scanf function. What does this scanf function will do here? This scanf function reads the next integer value from the screen and assigns it to the variable a of ij, that is a of ij. What is the value of I here? Is 1. What is the value of j here? Is 0. It means to say the 16 will be assigned to a of 10. So from this point the control again moves to this jump part, and the j value will be incremented by 1. Again the condition will be checked, and next variable will be assigned to this a of ij variable, that is I will be 1, condition will be checked, it will become true, and the next variable 17 will be assigned to the variable a of 1, 1. So again from this point, control will be moved to this part. J value will be again incremented by 1. It means to say J will be 2 here now. And again the condition will become true, and this 18 will be assigned to variable a of 0, 2. Okay, now from this point again the control moves to this part. J value will be incremented by 1, that is 3. Is 3 less than 4? It's true. Now the next variable value, that is 19, will be assigned to the variable a of 1, 3. A of 1, 3. From this point again J will be incremented by 1. That is, now J value is 4. Now again condition will be checked. Is 4 less than 4? Now the condition is false here. Now the condition is false here. And in this situation, the control comes out of this for loop and starts executing the next instruction in sequence. And what is the next instruction here? Is this statement. Control again moves to this jump part. And what is this jump part? I plus plus. It means to say the new value of I is 2 here. What was the last value of I? Is 1. When you increment 1 to the previous value, you will get 2 here. Now again check the condition. Is I less than m here? I less than m here. What is I? Is 2. What is the value of m? 2. Is 2 less than 2? No, it's false. The condition is false here. Now, what will happen here now? Because the condition is false here, now the control will come out of this for loop and start executing the next instruction in the sequence. From here on, I had to rewrite the code again due to the congested space on the board. And the code till this point is same that I have just discussed. And I already have written the code to print the values of 2D array elements. And now here, what does this printf function is going to print here? It just prints the string enclosed in this double quotation. That is, this printf function will print the string the matrix is, and this slash n moves the cursor from this current position to the beginning of the next line, Now the cursor blinks here on the output screen. Now let's observe this output code. This output code is same as that of the input code, except the two changes here. And what are the changes here? I have written printf function here instead of the scanf function, and additionally this code has one more printf function here. Now let's dry run this code. The procedure will remain same that I explained in the input values to 2D array. So for loop starts its execution from its initialization part and moves forward in this direction until it encounters its conditional part. And so what will be the a value here? That is 0. And the condition is going to be checked here. What is the condition here? I less than m. What is the value of m here? Is 2. And the condition is true here. Is 0 less than 2? Yes, condition is true here. So the control will enter to the loop body for the further execution. And what is the next statement here is again a for loop, and again for loop starts its execution from this initialization part and continues until it encounters the conditional part. And what will be the j value here is 0. What will be the j value here is 0. Now now the control checks the condition here. What is the condition? J is less than n. What is the value of n here is 4. And here is 4. So is 0 less than 4 here? It's true. True. Now the control executes the loop body here, and in loop body, what is the next statement? What is the next statement? That is printf function. And now here printf function is going to print an integer value here, because I have written %d format string here. So printf function is going to print an integer value on the screen stored in the variable a of ij. What is the value of I and j here is 0 and 0. And what is the value in a00? That is 12. That is 12. So printf function prints 12 on the screen. On the screen. I have typed a space here. Space here. So after printing 12 on the screen, printf function prints a space here. Prints a space here, and now the cursor blinks here on the screen. Why I have typed a space here? Space here. Just I want a space after the each element of the matrix. So I typed a space here. And now from this point the control moves to the jump part of the for loop itself. And what is the statement in the jump part? That is j plus plus. It means j value will be incremented by 1 here. So what is the value of j now? That is 1. That is 1. Again the condition is checked. That is 1 less than true? Is 1 less than true? It's true. Now the control moves to the to the inside of the loop of the body, and this printf function prints an integer variable value, that is aij. It means aij means a of 0 1. A of 0 1 means 13 will be printed on the screen this time. On the screen this time. After printing this 13, a space will be printed on the screen. A space will be printed on the screen, and cursor blinks at this position on the screen. And from this point again control will be moved to this jump part. J will be incremented by 1. Again condition will be checked. Is 2 less than 4? The condition is true here. Again the control moved to the inside of the loop body. Printf function again prints an integer value stored in the variable aij, that is a02 value will be printed on the screen this time. 14 will be printed onto the screen, and then a space will be printed on the screen. And again from this point the control moves to this jump part. J will be incremented by 1. Again condition will be checked. The condition is true here, and the value 15 will be printed on the screen. Okay, and after printing 15, printf function prints a space here. So the control again moves to the jump part of this loop, and j will be incremented by 1. And what is the new j value? That is j is equals to 4. Again the condition is checked here. That is 4 less than 4? Now the condition is false here. And whenever the condition becomes false, the control comes out of the loop and starts executing the next statements in the sequence. And what is the next statement here in this case is the printf function. Now let's observe the scenario of end of the iteration 1, or you can say whenever the J loop completes its execution, then it means that one row of the matrix already has been traversed, and in this example here it means that one row already has been printed on the screen here, and now we need to move the cursor from this current position to the beginning of the next line, So we can move the cursor to the beginning of the next line by using the slash and escape sequence in the printf function. So I have written a printf function here to move the cursor from the current position to the beginning of the next line here. Now from this point, control moves to the jump part of this for loop, and what is the statement in this jump part? That is I plus plus. It means to say I will be incremented by 1. What is the previous value of I? Is 0, and what will be the new value of I? That is 1. And again the condition will be checked here, that is 1 less than 2 here? Yes, condition is true, and the control will execute this loop body, and again in the second iteration J value will be 0, 1, 2 and 3. For the J value 0, 16 will be printed on the screen. For the J value 1, 17 will be printed on the screen, 17, and a space will be printed on the screen. For the J value 2, 18 will be printed on the screen, followed by a space, and for the J value 3, 19 will be printed on the screen, followed by a space, and the cursor blinks here on the screen. Now what is the J value here now? Is 4. The condition is again checked here. What is the condition? J is less than 4. J is less than n. That is 4 less than 4. The condition is false here. Now the control comes out of this for loop and starts executing the next statements in the sequence. And what is the next statement? This is printf function. This printf function prints a new line character on the output screen, that is cursor will be moved to the beginning of the next line, and from this point control again moves to the jump portion, and I value will be incremented by 1 again, and what will be the I value now? That is 2. Again the condition is checked here. Is the condition true this time? Is 2 less than 2? No, it's a false condition now. Now the control moves out of this for loop and starts executing the statements in the sequence. And what is the next statement here now? It's a getCh function now. It's an input function, and this getCh function now waits for the user to enter an input value, and as soon as you hit the enter key, the control will return to the C language editor itself. And this is how you can input values to 2D array, and this is how you can print the values of 2D array onto the screen here. Thanks for watching this tutorial and expecting you in my next tutorial as well. It takes so much efforts to record just one educational video. So hit the like, subscribe and share button if you genuinely like the content. Thank you again.